Good evening. Real quick, I don't go to a whole lot of IMSA things anymore because I'm retired and I'm lazy. But this is my second time here, and this is my favorite event because this is really what it's all about. All that stuff we talked about back when we were sitting over at the casino, whatever it was called back then, the center, planning this stuff out. And I know a lot of folks had done a lot of planning before I got there, but all we talked about was, you know, what our graduates would be like and what they would do. And it's just amazing to hear. Last year and this year, what you guys have done is it's just fantastic. I'm also very happy today because my daughter, who is a '94 graduate, is also here, and I'm here to introduce Winjie Tang Miao, who is a graduate of '94 and a friend of my daughter's, and I promised Winjie I wouldn't embarrass her too much. So I'm just going to read the thing, you know. I mean, that's one of the cool parts. They gave me the script here, you know. Before turning 30, Winjie Tang Miao was named a hospital president, and in 2011, she was tapped to lead the development of the newest hospital in the Texas Health Resources System. That's an IMSA graduate, folks. She is recognized as a true visionary and has won several awards, including recognition by Becker's Hospital Review as one of 25 healthcare leaders under age 40 in 2011. She says some of her most fulfilling work was when she served as a clinic director, opening a new medical clinic in an underserved village in Africa. Winjie, congratulations on your Alumni Distinguished Leadership Award. Please join me here on stage to receive your award and not to be embarrassed.
Congratulations, you want to. So, Manny, we're going to get a picture first, I think.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you give me a free meal? What the heck?
There you go.
Thank you.
Whew. You know, it's funny how what people say in a moment will carry you for the rest of your life. And my BC Calculus teacher at IMSA, John Alexopoulos, often said to us when we were complaining about we weren't ready for the next test or did we have to turn in our homework that day, he would always say, no moment finds us quite ready. And that's how I feel today. So I have to admit that when Carolyn first called to inform me that I had been selected to receive this recognition, my initial reaction was to inform her that amongst my IMSA friends, I was clearly the underachiever, so there had to be some mistake. And once I learned who the other award winners were, I was pretty sure of it. In fact, I'm really sad to say that Sam Yagan has actually had a much bigger impact on my brother IMSA's life than I could ever imagine to have. Because of a little site called OkCupid, Anson met a very nice girl named Emily, and they are getting married next July. So my whole family unanimously agrees that Sam definitely deserves this award more than I do. And Alex, I can think of no more noble cause than military service and serving this country. So thank you so much for what you and your fellow comrades do for us each and every day. So tonight, I am just really happy being the lucky third wheel. I first heard of IMSA when my algebra teacher in Decatur, Illinois, Mrs. Probst, mentioned a summer camp that she thought I might be interested in. And like Alex, I thought, summer camp. Now, I was one of the downstate kids, so I was not so sophisticated in 8th grade to realize that I needed a resume builder. But I thought summer camp sounded fun, and I kind of liked math and science, and okay, I guess, you know, I'll do that. So I spent 2 weeks in O2 Sea Wing as part of the Summer Adventures program, where actually I first met Keith as one of our RCs. That experience was an awakening for me, learning why scientists were colliding little things at a funny named lab for me. You know, we were saving our trash. I saved my trash for several days, trying to understand how we affected the environment. I don't know if did you save your trash? Yeah, wasn't that weird? but we learned something, right? We saved our trash. And I was seeing the connection for the first time in my life between art and science, going to Frank Lloyd Wright's house, and really marveling at how amazing that could be. I was also marveling at how worldly all the Chicago kids were compared to me, and how small my bucket of knowledge really was. When I finally enrolled at IMSA as a student, I was so excited. I was finally going somewhere where it was cool to be smart, only to realize very shortly after I got there that at IMSA I was not smart enough to be cool. I continued what I had started from the summer before at IMSA, being a sponge, exploring things that were interesting to me. But along the way, other things also happened as well. I was developing relationships with people who loved me and challenged me and my peers. I was running into teachers who expected more from me than I expected from myself. And from those two things, I was finding productive ways to channel my inner curiosity. I was learning things from Dr. Cannon, those of you remember Dr. Cannon in sophomore chemistry, about why he couldn't do any boom boom without his stick. And finding unexpected insights from a journal we were required to keep in junior biology. For the record, the unexpected insights were from Dr. Dash's comments, not from this teenage girl's diary. And I was realizing that sometimes asking the right questions is more important than searching for the right answers in classes like Utopia and Science Society in the future. Through all of these things, IMSA was teaching me not just how to be curious, but how to couple that curiosity with being better, both from a personal and from a social perspective. For a long time, I thought this confluence of learning was just one big happy accident. We went, we had a great time, I met my lifelong friends, I learned something, and I learned to be better. When people asked me what was different or special about IMSA, I found it very difficult to articulate until very recently. Last fall, I had the opportunity to engage with some executive coaches. I had just been placed in a new role where we are building a brand new hospital, not too different from what you did when you started building a brand new school. And it was important to me to create a great work environment and provide exceptional leadership to be successful, and so I welcomed any assistance. So one day my coaches and I were deeply embroiled in a conversation about what type of culture we wanted to create in this new hospital. And in the middle of the discussion, my coach pulled out a video. He said, "I think this is going to help you. It's a little dated, but I think the lessons are really, really good, so you should really watch this video." He said, "It's about 20 minutes. I think it'll have an impact on you." So the video started. I could hear musical instruments kind of playing in the background. Some of you know where this is going. An orchestra conductor appeared, and this video, I see nods. This video appears, and the title of the video is Leadership, an Art of Possibility. So Ben Zander, who's this orchestra conductor, starts talking about leadership lessons that he believes in, how a good leader functions much like an orchestra conductor. They aren't an expert in any individual instrument. They can't force the musicians to play in any certain way. They can only guide and nurture them to unlock the creativity and see their possibilities. So about 8 minutes into the video, I see a room full of people singing and grinning at the top of their lungs, Ode to Joy. And suddenly, I see some vaguely familiar faces. And I'm thinking, that's interesting. And suddenly, unmistakably, in her trademark glasses and perfect brunette coif, is Dr. Stephanie Pace Marshall, grinning and singing and then talking about this philosophy and how it could be a vehicle to creating, and I'm quoting her, a compassionate and sustainable world for everyone. As the video progressed, I saw Dr. Workman, Dr. Horrell, Dr. Edens, Dr. Goebel, Mrs. Bach, people who had had intense impact on my life. And for all I know, some of you who I didn't see or recognize in the video were there as well. But in that moment, I finally got it. The learning and the experience that IMSA students have is no coincidence. It is a very purposeful culture that has been created and honed, a culture where educators inspire students to join the journey, give them a possibility to live into, not an expectation to live up to, and make it their mission to spark a desire in each student, each class, year after year. This unique culture creates a tremendous gift that you are giving us, and it is the ultimate expression of paying it forward. As my IMSA classmates forge their own paths, I see these repeated themes of curiosity, creativity, possibility, and betterment. I see it in a physician combating infectious diseases in Connecticut. I see it in an executive integrating his science and marketing skills to bring an efficacious medical device to diabetic patients. I see it in a lawyer in Washington, D.C., lending her voice to domestic violence victims at the Supreme Court level because they have lost theirs. And I see it in a researcher searching for answers for his own father's illness. As for me, my passions have led me to the healthcare system. And every day, we work to optimize the triumvirate of healthcare: cost, access, and quality. I'm sure you've heard, anybody who's ever remodeled a house has heard things like this. You can get something good and cheap. You can get something cheap and fast. And you can get something good and fast. But very rarely in life will you get anything good, cheap, and fast. Well, that is our struggle in healthcare today. How to give communities the healthcare that they deserve and meet their needs, whether it's in Dallas-Fort Worth, where I currently live and work, or in the middle of Africa, where we opened a medical clinic last year. Clearly, the needs and expectations are different, but the equation that we are solving for is still the same: cost, access, and quality. So we are trying to do our part with a new hospital that is opening in 2 months. We are trying to drive care where it makes sense from a cost and patient satisfaction standpoint. We are working to use technology to enhance human capacity and improve the patient experience. I am personally working every day, becoming a better leader to do the things that you have asked of me to do and that this community that I live in, that I work in, deserves. Yes, we are but a small hospital in the middle of a cow pasture in Texas. Literally, there are cows supervising our construction. But don't underestimate the impact that a small community hospital in the middle of a cow pasture in Texas can have. Just look at what a small high school in the middle of a cornfield in Illinois has been able to accomplish. If you need any proof, just look at the awardees here tonight. Remember, I'm just the third wheel. And the thousands of alumni that are making a difference and an impact throughout the world. And on behalf of us, we thank you for continuing to push forward, to challenge, to support, and to inspire. Thank you very much to the board for this lovely award. But most importantly, thank you for letting me spend time in the land of the formerly orange carpet. And thank you for letting me be a part of this great IMSA community.